Okay, class, so let's go over the blood supply through the kidney one more time. And so it starts with the renal artery, right? The renal artery brings in blood into the kidneys. The renal artery then divides to form segmental arteries. The segmental arteries then further divide to form interlobar arteries. The interlobar arteries divide to form the arcuate artery. The arcuate then forms interlobular arteries. From the interlobular arteries, we have the afferent arteriole branching off. The afferent arteriole gives rise to a capillary bed called glomerulus. Glomerulus is a capillary bed. From the glomerulus, another arteriole comes off, and that is called the efferent arteriole. The efferent arteriole forms a second capillary bed called peritubular capillaries and vasa recta. The peritubular capillaries and the vasa recta come together and form the I should change color. Forms the interlobular vein. The interlobular vein then comes together to form the arcuate vein. The arcuate vein then comes together to form interlobar vein, and the interlobar veins connect together to form the renal vein, and the renal vein ultimately dumps into the inferior vena cava. Okay, all right, so this is blood flow through the kidney. Now, having that said, I want to talk about something. Can you guys tell me what type of blood is carried into the kidneys by the renal artery? What type of blood is brought into the kidney by the renal artery? Bye. Okay, if you think it's artery, so it's oxygenated blood, you are right. So the renal artery brings in oxygenated blood. We get it. But I want you to think about something. What are the kidneys doing? Did we mention that the kidneys filter blood to produce urine? We did say that. So the blood, that is the oxygenated blood that is coming in by the renal artery into the kidneys, is also carrying a lot of toxic materials. Do you agree? A lot of wastes. So I want you to get the idea that arteries do not all arteries. So in our mind, we try to think arteries all good blood, veins all bad blood, right? Artery is good, veins bad. That is not true. Renal artery does carry oxygenated blood, but this blood is full of wastes and toxins that will be filtered out by the kidney into urine. Okay, so as the blood passes from one organ to another organ, I want you to think and understand how the physiology changes, how the composition of blood change as it moves from one organ to other. Very important. Okay, so the renal artery does carry oxygenated blood, but this blood is full of wastes and toxins. So you will ask me, Rupa, then what type of blood is being dumped into the IVC? Well, as the blood passes from the interlobar artery to arcuate artery to the afferent arteriole glomerulus, at this point, all the filtration and reabsorption and all those things take place, which we will talk about. Okay, but then at the end, what type of blood comes out of the renal vein? That's a question. Well, the blood that comes out of the renal vein is deoxygenated, but free of wastes. Okay, all right. Now another important concept. Okay, so here we see an artery. This is an artery. This is an artery. And this artery is dividing to form the first capillary bed. This is a capillary bed. Then the capillary bed comes together to form this vessel, which is called a portal vessel. And then the portal vessel further branches to form a second capillary bed. And the second capillary bed then joins together to form a vein. This system is called a portal system. Portal system. So in a portal system, we have an artery branching into the first capillary bed. The capillary bed comes together to form a portal vessel. The portal vessel further branches to form a second capillary bed, which comes together to form a vein. Portal system. Why am I talking about this? Because in the urinary system, we do have a portal system that plays a crucial role in filtration of blood. Now, where is a portal system, Rupa? Now, do you remember? Let me get the slide. Do you remember the afferent arteriole we talked about? So let's say this is the afferent arteriole. The afferent arteriole divides to form the first capillary bed. In case of the kidneys, it's a glomerulus. The glomerulus then forms a portal vessel called the efferent arteriole. And the efferent arteriole forms a second capillary bed, which in case of the urinary system is made up of the peritubular capillaries and vasa recta. And then this comes together to form the interlobular vein. This is the portal system in the urinary system. So we have the afferent arteriole branching to form glomerulus, which is the first capillary bed. So glomerulus will be the first capillary bed, which comes together to form a portal vessel called the efferent arteriole. And the efferent arteriole then branches to form the second capillary bed, made up of peritubular capillaries and vasa recta, which then comes together to form a venous end called interlobular vein. Hope you get this. Now, if I go back to this picture, what do we see here? We do see these yellow tubular structures, and these yellow tubular structures are called nephrons. Now, we did mention that kidneys filter blood to produce urine. But the structures that are really working hard to make this urine are the nephrons. Each kidney has about 1.25 million nephrons, which are constantly filtering blood. And in this picture, we are looking at two nephrons. This is one and this is the second one. If you zoom into the nephron, there are few parts of the nephron, and we will label those now. This cup-shaped structure, this is called the Bowman's capsule or glomerular capsule. This is called the Bowman's capsule or glomerular capsule. Then this part is coiled, right? This coil part is called proximal convoluted tubule, which then leads to this hairpin-like structure. The hairpin-like structure is called nephron loop or loop of Henle, or also known as loop of Henle. The nephron loop is divided into two parts. The part that goes down is called the descending limb. The part that comes back up is called the ascending limb. The ascending limb then forms the last part, and this is called the distal convoluted tubule. The distal convoluted tubule then dumps everything into this thicker tube, and this is called the collecting duct. So I have a hand-drawn picture, and we will talk about this one. So remember, this is a nephron. I have drawn out a nephron, and our kidneys have about 1.25 million nephrons. We will start with labeling the parts of the nephron first. All the black part is a nephron, not the green, not the red. So this is called the Bowman's capsule, also known as the glomerular capsule. This part is called the proximal convoluted tubule, also known as PCT. This whole part is the nephron loop, also known as loop of Henle. Loop of Henle is an older term. And in this part is known as distal convoluted tubule or DCT. The green part is the collecting duct. Then you see a red vessel here. This is the afferent arteriole, which form the first capillary bed called the glomerulus. And this is the portal vessel called the efferent arteriole. Okay, I'll stop here and then start with the process of urine formation.